All right, family. We live with the general, man. We black with some more fire, man. We're gonna talk about today. Uh, Let me make sure we turn this down a little bit. How we sound out there? Okay. Sound good, Mike. Sound nice. All right. Mike sound nice. All right. Okay. And so we talking about today, does China see America as a weakened eagle? You know, you got all these news reports out here saying that the United States has dropped all its bombs, then dropped all its bombs, is over there fumbling with Iran. Could they attack us? Are they, well, better yet, would they attack Taiwan? And is this in there, are they using Iran in a way to weaken United States to the point where they can run up in Taiwan maybe later on this year, early next year? Because they've already slated that China try to go into Taiwan in 2027. And seeing that the United States is busy giving all these missiles over there to Ukraine, over there giving all, bombing Iran, and you know what I'm saying? And when shit could pop off, this is too close. But they saying, but understandably, they saying that the Iranian commander has admitted that they are trying to get a nuclear weapon. They trying to get one. It is what it is. And they would probably say that anyway at this point. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, because you're gonna fuck around and get a bomb dropped on them. But you could play the boogeyman. You might can play the boogeyman. I don't know what you would get out of it. Because if they think you got a bomb, I know Netanyahu he ready to start slinging shit. He's a gunslinger. He's ready to start run over there right now and drop a nuclear bomb. And it'll sure enough be a nuclear war. It might be three nuclear nations at war. You got Pakistan, a nuclear nation that's in league with Saudi Arabia. You got Russia. You got China. It could get real ugly, man, with this scenario. But the fact that, America, they talking all over the world that America is artillery, their ammunition, their munitions is low. They low on ammunition. This is what's being said. Now, I don't know what nation willing to roll the dice and find out. You know what I'm saying? I don't, they still got them heavyweights now. They still got them heavyweights. So that don't mean you can just run up and do something, because you'll fuck around be missing two, three nations, but cities. You'd be fucking around, wake up tomorrow, and 3, 4 of your cities is missing. So nobody really gonna want to find out for real. But China is something different. You have to be, whatever strength the United States say they got to stay at the top. And people don't believe, because you lie too much. The fucking Trump administration had lied too much. They've been busted lying, man. You tell nobody believes, so it might be true. Some people was just looking at it, it's true. You know what I'm saying? Iran is laughing, saying you didn't depleted half your goddamn arsenal, and we still in charge of the Strait of Hormuz. We still able to hit every city in the Middle East if we want to. You can't stop us. We done bombed a lot of your bases and shit and whatever. We can cause turmoil in the Middle East to where your allies don't want to, they ain't gonna want to risk getting their cities blown up and shit. They ain't gonna want to risk it, especially if and they ain't, they don't have the type of weapon systems to stop a lot of that shit. I'm surprised they ain't hit the Burj Khalifa. You know what I'm saying? Over there in Dubai. I'm surprised they ain't hit that. You know, I know they went downtown somewhere over and through there. So I'm surprised that, you know, they ain't hit one of them extraordinary fucking buildings. That's shameful, man. That's shameful, man. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking shameful. That, you know, that you gonna start a war over there and then these supposed to be your allies. And Iran is bombing, is bombing all your allies and shit. And they like, man, fuck you, man. We're gone from over. You might as well pack your shit up. And that's what they saying. He tried to make it seem like, that Saudi Arabia, Oman, and all of that talked him out of bombing Iran this last time, saying that it was going to be the biggest bombing since World War II. And he said Saudi Arabia and Oman and you know the other Arab nations over there talked him out of it. You know why they talked him out of it? Because they knew he couldn't stop Iran from shooting off after they go over there. And they can go over there and bomb that motherfucker up, but they was gonna be some retaliation, and they probably would have took off the gloves on United Arab Emirates, Oman, Saudi Arabia. You know, they would have took the gloves off. They probably would have aimed straight for some of their most important, buildings and and all of that, and it would have been disastrous over there. For what? At the end of the day, for what? At least when motherfucking at least when motherfucking the United States went into Iraq. And now I'm gonna tell you that first time, and the second time too, they got some shit off. They Saddam Hussein got up in Israel. He got up in there. He set it off up in there too. You know what I'm saying? But they knew that some shit was gonna happen, but they put an end to that shit. They put an end to that shit. You know what I'm saying? They put an end to that shit because they, number one, they bombed the shit, but they would have boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? They had boots on the ground, so if they could pinpoint with accuracy where them motherfuckers was. And so they cleaned them up real good. They cleaned their ass up real good. But with just bombing and without no boots on the ground, that's nothing. They hiding that shit wherever they want to hide it. Yeah, you can see it once they shoot that shit off. But but if they didn't got it off already, you know what I'm saying? And it's aiming towards one of them damn cities over there, and it didn't bomb significant, oil depots and ports and military bases, even go downtown and knock down some of their most important motherfucking city. You cannot stop it. You know? You cannot stop it. And they talking about building the golden dome and all of this shit. And and so it sound good, but you don't have it yet. You don't have it yet. And so this shit is, the world is changing. A lot of these other nations have capabilities. They have capabilities, you know what I'm saying? And whether they can outright beat you don't make a difference. They strategic enough to bring terror and terrorize your ass. Just with the drones, just terrorize you with shit just falling out the sky, doing, damage. That's terror. That's a form of terror. You know what I'm saying? You don't know when it's gonna happen, where it's gonna happen. And they got thousands and thousands and thousands of them drones over there. So it looked bad. It looked bad. And so, China is going, they're going to exploit that predicament. They're going to exploit it. Because the more they exploit America in the Strait of Hormuz, that weakens in the United States to do anything over there in Taiwan. You know what I'm saying? What would happen if it started right now? What would happen? You know, just think about that. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute. What would happen if China rushed into Taiwan right now? They wouldn't be able to fight. They wouldn't be able to fight. There's no way they could fight Iran and China at the same time. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. You would have to. They say the United States. That's a lie. They cannot fight no fucking two wars. Not right now at all. And they don't have the military to do it. That's why they calling the draft up. They calling the draft up because, in order to fight two fucking wars, in order to fight two fucking wars, you gonna need a straight million to a million point, to be, you know what I'm saying? You at least a million strong soldiers, not a million army, because when they say million, that mean everybody, motherfuckers typing and all of that shit. You got to have a million-man army, motherfuckers with guns and shit. I'm talking about you got to have boots on the ground. You got to have them. I ain't talking about the Navy. I ain't talking about the Air Force. I ain't talking about none of that. You need a million between the Army and the motherfucking Marines. You need a million. You know what I'm saying? That way, 500,000 here, have 500,000 there. You know what I'm saying? With the Air Force, with the Navy, I think they could do it. But less than that, you don't have that. I don't believe they have that. They cannot fight no two wars. So if they was to get into it with China right now, they would have to pull out of. What would they be able to? They would have to pull out. They would literally have to pull out, man, because they would have to use every fucking thing they got against them damn Chinese. They wouldn't have, because the Chinese got a few things too. I don't know. Maybe they could keep a couple of aircraft carriers over there. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They might be able to, put some aircraft carriers over there, but they're going to need a lot of that shit for China. And so China see United States is weakened right now, but are they really ready? Is people underestimating? Are they thinking the United States is weak? Are they, are they playing a game on people? You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. And I don't think nobody want to roll the dice and find out. But I can say that America does look weak right now. They looking fucking weak. They looking real fucking weak. And I'm not saying, and like I say, I cover this because my people's over here, and that they gonna be, and you stupid ass niggas don't say shit. Y'all just come up here with commentary. You put a comment up there. Oh, you said it, you roll. I'm not rolling with nobody. I'm showing my people what the fuck is going on before the bomb start. Cause these weak ass niggas, all they want to do is go up on the motherfucking internet and cake for these motherfuckers for views and shit. The reality is your ass is under threat of being bombed. So you better wake your motherfucking ass up and realize the predicament that Trump is in, because you in it. You paying that goddamn gas tax, right? When you talking about you ain't a motherfucker, when you go up there, put some gas in there, motherfucker, you pay. And when they bring that $6 trillion budget in for you, paying that, motherfucker. So don't sit here and say you ain't in it. Yeah, you pay that motherfucking tax then, nigga. Yeah, and when they get ready to draft your motherfucking ass, all you niggas out there screaming FBA, they're gonna be the first motherfuckers that you come. Oh, you foundational, nigga. I know you ready to support and get out here and fight for your nation. So when nigga, all you FBA niggas found, when they call you, and when they say it's time to draft, get your ass up and be the first nigga on the line, because you foundational, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? All right. I'll see y'all in a minute. Make sure y'all get over there to Patreon, General Seti. Over 600
videos. You already know that. Exclusive, fire, too raw for YouTube. Also, General Seti, Etsy, one stop, kingseti.com. Make sure y'all get this video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. And I'll be black for the last video of this evening. Everybody on here, this is my last video coming. Make sure you're in the house, family. We're gonna be talking about the cyber terrorists that China always already has in America. They send threats to let everybody know. And I just want y'all to know that. Cause you niggas sitting silent because y'all don't watch no news. All y'all watch is the motherfucking what's that, No Jumper and DJ Vlad and all the all the hip hop controversies and shit. That's what y'all watch. But the Chinese is already threatening the United States, saying we already in there. We have already compromised your infrastructure. And I'm gonna tell you what that's gonna lead to when you come back. See you in a minute. Black Power. Yeah, go ahead, Ray. You, if you want to go on lay down, man. I got one more. Yeah, I got one more, and I'm about to be out of here. But I'm good if you need to check out, family. See you in a minute.